Soul and Stories heading to Longfellow Avenue.
Hi. Here we are, back again, Mom.
Yes, sir. No matter what.
65 years now we've been together.
Yeah, that's about that
I
long.
just had a birthday.
Oh, you did, that's right.
65 years old I am. You know, we came from a really, really exciting neighborhood. When, at least for kids it was.
Oh, was it?
Oh yeah, it was all right after World War II, you know, and we were all boomers.
Yes,
All the neighbors had kids.
they sure
You
did.
know, yeah, and all the moms stayed home.
Yes, we did work like you do nowadays.
No, they didn't work
And
hardly
we
at
stayed
all.
home at home.
I don't.
Yeah,
I
we do
can't.
all of the neighbor, all the block, up and down them hot one block. We do all the women.
Yeah, I think the only one that worked was Hazel Fisher. She was a cashier at National Tea.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her kids were older.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah, and some of them had really big families.
oh, yeah.
The Thompsons had a really big family,
Yes, they did.
and who else had a big family?
Well, they're the only ones on that block, I think, that had a big family.
Yeah.
Except ours. We had 4.
Yeah, you had 4. Larson's had 2. Glanders had 2. Cummings had 2. Holy smokes. Burnside's had 2.
2.
Oh, the Haze's had plenty though. Haze's must have had like 5.
Hazen.
Hayes. B. Hayes.
Oh, B. Hayes. No, she
We
had,
had Don, Patty,
and then,
and Terry.
yeah, 3.
Just 3?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, what we called our street, the promoter street.
The what street?
Promoter. They promoted having families.
Promoted Street.
And everybody had a family.
It couldn't possibly be that they were all Lutheran and we were Catholic, could it be? That they had less kids?
Well, that it could be, yeah.
Yeah. But that's a religious thing. We don't talk about that now.
No.
In those days, you didn't talk about it either. It was awfully strict, you know. Remember, you never let us go to the vacation Bible school over at St. Luke's? They'd have vacation Bible school and we'd all want to go with the rest of the neighborhood. No, can't go there. Don't go to the Lutheran church. Don't go inside especially. So we never went to vacation Bible school because the nuns took the summer off. They took vacation.
How did we get to church?
Oh yeah, we went to church. We went to church in the truck, didn't we?
No.
No?
You used to go down to school, That's where you went. The nuns would teach you on Sunday mornings after
Yes.
service at school, at their school. It
Yes.
was right across the alley from the church.
Yes, and the nuns taught Sunday school.
That's right.
Yeah, but in the summertime they didn't have Bible.
No,
No, because they were busy
that's right.
going to school. The nuns were going back to school.
You bet your life.
Okay, all righty. But you had a lot of fun in the neighborhood. There was a lot of activity. The adults had activity.
We had something happening all the time. Oh, it was the best place to live because everybody was nice to everybody. They all worked hard for our money. And the folks, all the parents, those that worked, they just made ends meet, and they did. Kids never expected an awful lot, and they didn't get a lot, but they had a lot of fun together. They were all played together.
Yep. Remember when you used to go to coffee, in the afternoon over at Eva Smith's? All the ladies in the neighborhood. Well, not all the ladies, but 4 or 5 of the ladies in the neighborhood go over there and have coffee in the afternoon over to Eva's.
Yeah, we go over there and have coffee. She'd have coffee and some kind of pastry of some kind she did. We always enjoyed that, but we had to make sure we were alone. our husbands couldn't be. If we see our husband coming by, we'd run like heck for home.
Yeah, went home, yeah.
Yeah.
And Flo was around there, Flo Mahoney.
Flo was one of the greatest.
She was one of the older ladies in the neighborhood when I was small.
Well, she was, I don't know how old she was when she died, but she must have been in her late 80s. She never had any teeth.
Never had any teeth.
Well, we never knew her. We never knew her with teeth.
I don't think so, no.
But it was fun. She was also a good time. And they always had that little store in the corner. They always kept it. They also was decent to everybody.
Yeah.
Came in there.
See, I never knew them when they had the store. That was before my time. The Cianciolets owned the store when I was growing up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you know who I never knew? I never knew the Lewises.
I never knew him either.
They were between Lindskoogs
Yes.
and Tibbets,
Yeah.
and never ever did I know them.
I don't think there was ever a woman there. I think it's just the men.
Just one guy?
One grandpa there.
Yeah.
One man.
Forever.
Well, I don't know. He lived there as long as we did, I think. Or he came there sometime when we were there and stayed. But I never knew him very well. We knew all the people in our neighborhood.
Kind of like the Olsons across the street next door to Del and Eva's. Wasn't until I was 15, 16 years old before I found out, talked to them in that. He was a nice man. He worked with you for a little while, didn't he?
No.
No?
But he was a nice man.
Maybe he went to the American to VFW. He belonged to the VFW.
He may have, yeah.
Yeah.
But that's so many years ago that kind of forget those things that happened. But his wife, she didn't want any cars on the street. She used to call the cops in town, tell them that there's cars parked on her street. And she did.
In front of her house, huh?
Yeah.
Oh,
in front of
boy.
her house.
Yeah, and then the McConvilles. The McConvilles I never knew till they ran into me with their car. Remember
No.
when he hit me with their car
I never
outside church.
I never knew that.
Yes, yeah, and she was a nurse. Her name was Maxine, and his name was Jack.
Yeah. But their two
And
kids.
Jack worked for the electric company.
What were their kids' names?
What?
What were their kids' names?
The girl's name?
They only had girls.
Yeah, I had two girls, yeah. Oh boy. They were both older than me, way older than me.
No, they weren't.
Yeah?
They were Cookie's age, I thought.
Well, that's 6 years.
Well, that's older, that's younger.
Well, when I was 10, they were 16. Anyways, they never went to public schools. They always went to parochial schools.
Yes, they did.
They had a nice house. I think they had the only brick house in the whole neighborhood.
Yeah,
It was all brick.
it was nice.
The only drawback was that big hill. Oh, they had a big hill in front of their house.
Yes, they did.
Yep. And Jack McConville used to mow that big hill.
Yeah.
Walk all the way down it, push that lawnmower all the way up. Walk all the way down it, push the lawnmower all the way up it. That was a big hill. Then he had that hill in the back too.
Yeah.
You came out their back door and it went up like this,
That's
and then
right.
it leveled off, and that's where the garages were.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they're all very nice people.
And then we had Mert and Ollie.
Oh,
The Johnsons. They were the fun ones in the neighborhood.
well, she was a fun one, but she used to pull tricks on her husband. And everybody would wait for him to come home, and he'd know about it. Boy, he'd raise the dickens with her. Everybody heard it too.
And then he'd come running out the front door, and she'd come running out behind him with the fry pan, swinging the fry pan at the trying to hit them with it. That
I
was
don't
good.
remember that, but,
You didn't sleep on the front porch of the house either.
no, I didn't.
Yes. There was a lot of activity out in front of the house in the evenings that
Oh,
you
that's
didn't
why
see.
you wanted to sleep out on the front porch all the time, huh?
Yeah, I could see what the neighbors were doing. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
We had a lot of neighbors.
We were the only family in the neighborhood that didn't have a garden and had more fresh vegetables than anybody else
Yes, sir.
from everybody else's garden.
They always bring it over to us.
Yes,
We liked it
they
too.
brought it over to us.
They thought an awful lot of us.
Yep, it was a good neighborhood.
We live in a good neighborhood.
But you know what?
What?
They're all gone.
Yeah,
They're all memories.
yeah.
You're the only one that still has a foothold on all these memories.
No, Ethel May's still there. And
Yeah,
she's got,
yeah, Ethel May next door from the Ryan.
yeah,
Yeah, but she wasn't one of the
no. she
parents
was-
or
she
one of
was
the
younger.
adults. She was just one of the oldest children.
Yeah,
And we had a lot of adopted kids in the neighborhood.
oh,
Well, both the Burnsides were adopted.
yes, they were.
And was Ethel May?
Yes,
Ethel May was adopted. And
so was the ones
anything
across.
down the Jacobsons?
Now, you don't have to go that far, right across from us. Those are both adopted children.
The Convilles?
Yes,
Oh, okay. And then how about over at Smith's, Gail, and then the boy, Roy, what's his name, Roy? No,
yeah, Smith.
Gail Smith.
I know it. We got our first television from your dad moving over to Iowa, and he didn't have no money to pay for it. So he asked what Jim wanted, and they had a television. Jim says, a television. And he got the television. That was our first television.
And who was that from?
That was from Bob.
Bob
Smith.
Smith. Okay, he was a veteran. Was he a
Yeah.
veteran from World War II?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they had a daughter, Gail.
That wasn't their daughter. That was their niece. But she,
Oh, it was a niece.
yeah, she lived with them. Her
Oh,
mother had died, and her father brought over. I remember when they brought over there. Mrs. Smith said, "Oh no, she was too old to start raising a small child." But she took her, and she had a swing for her. And that little girl used to swing. She never wanted anybody to bother the girl, so she had this swing out there, and the little girl would swing and swing and swing.
yeah, Eva must have been pretty old then.
Yeah, Eva was old, but
Yeah.
they both lived, and we went to visit them when they moved across the street first. And then after a while, when he wasn't able to work no more, Dell wasn't able to work anymore, they went out to Veterans Hospital. And Jim and I went out and visited them out there.
Went to Masonic. Went out to Masonic
Yeah.
home
Yeah, Masonic.
out on Normandale Boulevard over on the Minnesota River.
Yeah,
Yep. And Dell worked for the city court,
for the city,
didn't he?
he was a deputy clerk of district court.
A deputy clerk of
District
district court.
Yes.
Oh, he had a pretty good position.
Oh, he had a real good job. She never washed clothes. She sent everything to be washed.
Sent everything out to the laundry? Wow.
Her
That's kinda
mother-
special.
Her mother lived with them part of the time, and then the other part, the mother would go out to her other daughter who lived in California. So,
Wow. Huh?
yeah,
That was and then the Lindskooks. Lindskook, he had a father and some sons, and they were in the cement business. Now, I think I was pretty young.
no, they were married.
Well, how old was Mr. Lindskook?
He was old. They both died.
And didn't he have a couple of boys?
Yeah, he had one, I know, but I don't know. He was a man that worked with
Cement.
cement. And I remember when we had our house fixed, painted and cement around the foundation, he came over and told us it was too late in the fall to put cement on. It was going to freeze before.
Tuck point, too late to tuck point.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I remember that.
yeah. And so we stopped them from doing it. Boy, they didn't like it either.
Huh? Yeah. Yeah, you'd walk around South Minneapolis and look at, because we all had sidewalks, both sides of the street, and you look in the corner and see who made the sidewalk. And
Yeah.
Linskug's name was there a lot.
Yeah,
Carlson and Levine's name was there a lot.
yeah.
Yeah, but they weren't a neighbor. Carlson and Levine weren't.
I don't know.
No. Huh. Who else did we have special in the neighbor? You know that the Jacobsons, they were special, but I never quite understood. I was too young, I think, to understand. There was two brothers that lived alone,
And my sister.
and then the sister lived next door, right? She was a nurse and she lived next door.
I don't remember that. But
And
maybe
then
so.
the two men were painters,
Yeah,
house painters.
that's right.
Yeah.
And they got our we put food in.
Refrigerator.
Yeah, they got our refrigerator. We bought a new one. When we got a new
Oh,
one.
got a new ice box.
Yeah, ice box. They got it all right. And they just use that for frozen all the time. They're frozen goods and we kind of.
Oh, okay. All right. You know that's kind of funny. I'm oh my goodness, 65, and I still call the refrigerator the ice box.
Yeah,
And I never ever remember
ever having one.
ever having one. That's right.
We never had an ice box, I can
Nope.
remember.
No, well, we never did. Not that I remember.
I don't remember any ice box.
I remember when we bought that new really big refrigerator.
Oh, we thought that was wonderful.
Oh, that was, it was an up and down thing, and it said Viking on the handle, Viking Foods, and that's what Everett's represent, Everett's
Yes.
supermarket,
That's-
Everett's meat
That's who
market.
we bought it from.
Yep, it was Viking Foods.
Yeah,
Oh, that was really big then.
they had good meat though.
You what?
They had good meat.
Oh yes, they had great meat. They had great meat, yeah. And then L.V. Olson was living with us then.
Yeah, L.V. Olson lived with us.
He was a handyman carpenter,
Yeah,
and he built some things around the house. Built a couple closets, closet in the back hallway. Built a closet upstairs in one of the two bedrooms.
yes.
And then he took and where we had a big flour bin, you used to pull it out in the front and it would flop down, and it was a big flour bin, and that was in the cupboards around the kitchen. He took that out and made a clothes chute. Went right downstairs to the right there by the washing machine.
Yes, it did.
Yeah, and he took the doorway out of the wall between the kitchen and the dining room. They rebuilt that wall and moved the doorway from one side to the other,
Yeah.
so that I don't know, why did you do that?
Well, we did that because, we had bought a dining room set that had a nice cupboard, and we used that wall there to put the nice cupboard at. But the reason we did was we had a hole in the corner that we did put it on, had a door to go down the basement there. And there was a big space from there onto the stove that had nothing in it. So it was lost space. So by changing the door over to that side, that was taken care of, and we had a place to put our refrigerator. Our refrigerator was put over on that side then.
Yes. Well, okay.
Yeah.
Do you remember the old kitchen that had that red top, red Formica top?
That was the kitchen here.
Well, it was the kitchen there too, didn't it? Or was that the
I don't
kitchen?
remember having red top.
What color was the top of the Formica on Longfellow there?
I don't remember, I thought it was white. Maybe it wasn't. That's a long time ago, kiddo. How many years ago is that?
Oh, I suppose you left Longfellow 30, 40, about 38 years ago, maybe?
Yeah.
40 years ago?
So you can't expect me to know everything
Well, you were only 56.
at the time.
Yeah, when you left. That's 40 years ago.
Maybe it is.
Yeah, well, you know, and we had good wood cabinets.
Yeah. Kitchen cabinets.
Yep.
He put in kitchen cabinets.
Some of them were new, some of them were older.
Yeah, and we had red tops on them.
That's what I said. You had a red top, a red Formica.
Top, yes.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
Had a linoleum floor with all kinds of little squares in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That bought it. Where'd great grandpa buy that? Linoleum Louis.
Yeah. That's
Remember Linoleum Louis?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Now,
he was over on 26th and
right.
Lindale.
Now, Linda.
26th and Lindale. Yeah, he was in the northwest corner, right across the street from the CC Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, the old neighborhood's changed, you know. There ain't
Oh,
much of
my
none of that
gosh.
left.
Yes. I was there about 3 months ago to visit Ethel May, and there was people men coming to the door and begging for food. And I couldn't understand that. And she said they have a lot of them. They have to call a policeman when they come because they want money, and they try everything to get the money from you. And she said she was afraid to kind of have them around. But we never had any, well, we lived there. There was all good people in that block on both sides.
Yeah, and a lot of good people in the neighborhood. What else do you remember about the neighborhood?
Well,
Remember the floods?
oh yeah, but that was it. We never got any water in our basement though,
Well, you know why that was.
because we'd plug our sewer.
And we didn't have a floor drain,
No,
and so only drains we had were two that were hooked up to our tubs, our laundry tubs.
right.
We'd put a rubber plug in there and we'd stick 2 big bricks on top of it. And yeah, it never backed up then, but all the people that had floor drains
They all had water.
always had water in their
They go
basement.
swimming in the water down there.
Huh?
You guys would go swimming in the water.
Yeah, it was flood water, I think. I don't think it was sanitary water.
It was flood water is what it was. Yes, it was.
Yeah, okay. Well, and then finally it took the life of Mr. Burnside, one of the big floods did.
Yeah.
Side of his basement caved in from the water pressure, and he was down there at the time and didn't get up. And then they took the city finally admitted that they had a terrible problem and that there was no way to correct it, because actually what it was 19th Avenue was a direct, what would you call it, a direct, almost like a river or a creek coming from Lake Hiawatha. I mean, they built it up and they changed it and stuff, but every time you had all that rain, all the water from the neighborhoods would all run downhill into the park, Sibley Field Park. And then once that filled up, then it would fill up 19th Avenue. And the city finally admitted that they
And they got all the houses off of 19th Avenue.
took it and
And
bought
fixed it.
all the houses, both sides of the street,
Yep.
tore them all down, made it just a big greenway, a big, like a park, like a parkway, you know, and on each side you still had the alleys.
Yeah.
And one side of the alley went to Longfellow, and one side of the alley went to 20th. Yeah, and all the people there, they all lost their houses. They
Yeah.
were eminent domain, or actually, I think some of them got so flooded the last time they were condemned.
Yeah.
They're all gone. That was a sad day. We were both gone then, though.
Yeah.
But our friend, one of the Thompson boys, Tommy, told me about it because he still lived in the area, and that was a really sad day.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've chatted enough, Ma.
Yeah, I think
For now, reminiscing makes me lonely for the old neighborhood.
For the old neighborhood, and we had good friends there.
Yeah. Lot of good friends there.
Old men stories. One more day on Longfellow Avenue.